you'll start to get some real structure coming along here right away. And let's go to the next piece. That's E. So E comes along. E's kind of a larger piece. And what is it? It's kind of a T-shaped thing. Let's see what we've got. Okay, there we go. It's over here. All right, there's E there. So it's kind of like got two arms out on each side. So I'll just pop those out. That was actually quite easy, and just 4 tags. And there's your E piece. So again, this is one of those ones where, although they see, look at E, it looks symmetrical, doesn't it? It's not quite. There's one little thing, or one little feature that's different, and you can see it just at here. And I don't know if that's the top or the bottom yet, so I'm going to look at that in a second. But that one feature where you've got the little tag and the 2 little slots there, it's not the same on the other end. So that it'll be an important question which way up that needs to go. And then looking at the picture here, the picture, it makes it fairly clear that it actually goes this way up. So I had it upside down for you. So the tags are actually going to go down the bottom, and you'll notice that they actually fit into the end of what was our B piece. When we started, no, it was the C. The C is the piece at the bottom. So those 2 slots are going to go into C, and then slide in to this to the slot in at the top here. It's starting to get a little like I feel like I'm going to need to glue something fairly soon, because all of these little pieces are sort of flopping around a bit, but I still don't necessarily want to commit myself to glue quite yet, although I think we maybe should think that we're close to that point. Yeah, see, one of those isn't quite popping in. That's the middle slot here. It's just a little tight. In terms of, see, this little tag here needs to go into this piece here, and it's not quite sliding in cleanly. The only thing I can do possibly is put it the other way up. Let's just try it the other way around and see if that will work. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to be scraping just a little bit of a scrape with the knife. I think that looks like. Yeah, that just doesn't want to go in. So that's going to be definitely just a little bit of a scrape with the knife. And in this case, what I'll do is I'll do it on this end. So I'll just scrape down, just to sort of smooth down the edges a little bit. No, nothing much, just very, very thin. I'm sure it's just a tiny little bit of raised edge on that wood that's catching as it goes into the slot there. We'll see how that worked. See if I got enough on it to get it to go into this. Yeah, there we go. Straight away it works. So it's going right cleanly into the slot, just like that. And I can even feel it. There you go. See, it's coming through the other side. So that sort of fits on there quite nicely. Now I'm going to have to get all my other bits back on. And straight away I've done it upside down. So that's one of those things where, yes, do be very careful about all of these things. So let's put the bottom piece back on. Way up. And yeah, you know, you're probably looking at this and thinking, well, it does seem a little fiddly, and honestly it is. But it is fiddly, and I mean, I think of it as a good way, because once these things click in together, you know, boy oh boy, the structure, how everything sort of all just works is really quite amazingly well engineered. You see, so that slides in there, and then everything supports each other. So I've got now those two pieces on there, and the last one to get back on is the top piece that I popped out before, which I've now lost. Okay, here it is, and that will go on the top. Let me just put that down, because otherwise, oh, I can't really do that because it sits above the. There we go. Do it there. Right, so, and again, really what I'm doing is all of a dry fit to make sure I understand everything. I've got all the pieces, I haven't missed anything. I'm making sure everything's just going to work before I commit to gluing, because once you glue, well, you're kind of, you know, any mistakes are locked in. And right now I can make mistakes, and it doesn't actually matter that much. So let me just see if I can get that piece slot to go into the slot here. Not quite working. I think I'm getting to the point where, you know, it might need to be. So that's just fit together so nicely. It's actually firm. So now when I'm trying to slide this piece back in to where it belongs, which is it's just resisting a little bit because I'm having to kind of go in at an angle, and it's not quite. Oh, okay, but that's going to work. There we go. So now get the two pieces together there, and just get that into its slot. And be careful not to push or press too hard. You can still break this. It's strong wood, but it's you know, you could break it with a little bit too much pressure. So I just want to be a little careful not to just overdo the pressure on there. I think maybe I'm going to try that one the other way up. I know that it did slot in before. It didn't quite. Oh yeah, there we go. There it is. Yeah, no, it's not quite getting into that slot there. So again, this is just going to need a little touch of cleaning along the edge. Just the tiniest bit, just a bit of smoothing with the edge of the knife, and just do the same thing on both edges. And I think that should be enough. Let's just see how that works. Oops. Yeah, you see now that actually slides into that slot just nicely with just that tiny little bit of scraping that I did, right? Didn't take much. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to get these two pieces back in themselves. Bottom, I think that should be okay. They should be used to it by now. They've been in a couple of times already, so they should slide in quite smoothly, as long as I get them lined up right. Oh, I guess I haven't got that lined up right. Just, there we go, that's lined up right. That slots in there, that slots in there, everything just clicks together, and we're good. Yes, I think. Right. Oh, it's not quite, there we go. Okay, that's what's wrong. So, that was a little bit of an adventure, but there it is. So that's Now what step are we at? We're at step 4 of building this little piece. And you know, again, I don't know, I'm kind of tempted to glue. I'm fairly sure everything's right. It feels kind of solid. You know, it's actually not, you know, it almost can hold itself together. But I think what I want to do, and this is one of the other sort of important things to do with these, is look ahead a little bit. I've noticed that, you know, sometimes you might find that if you look ahead maybe a picture or two, you might find that there's something tricky that is a little less tricky if you think of it ahead of time. So but actually, and see, that's what I did straight away. By looking ahead, I realized that, okay, there's that one piece, and the next part of this piece of work is to the next step is to build like the frame that goes around this, and then this will actually slot into it. So and this is telling me, I think, that that maybe it is time to glue that section, because that piece there sort of builds a frame that you then insert the piece we've already built into. Can't really see it clearly on the model, but that's what's going on. So I'll show you. I'll do that. I won't glue that yet, but I'll show you why I think that makes sense by building out the next step, which is F and G. And once we do F and G, I think you'll be able to say F and G plus this piece here, and it'll be pretty clear why that, you know, how that sort of structure goes together. So F is pretty easy to find. It's over here. It's a big circle. And G, let me see about G. Well, G's right nearby. G is sort of like a frame that's on this side.